What it do, everybody? What it do? What it do? Yes, welcome back. Welcome back to Dictate the Day. I'm Dick. Let's take this day. Alright. Got some things going on before we get into the video. Some of these crazy, creepy, I don't know what to name these videos. My curation of crazy? No, I don't know. Because I don't necessarily think they're all crazy. But, alright, I got some details that I'll probably share more of after the video, if you will. Series of videos. But, you know what? Screw it. You know what? It's Friday. It's not just Friday. It's Friday the 13th. And from what I understand, and I could check this if I want, I just haven't. I like the allure of mystery. I think this is the only Friday the 13th we'll have this year. I was actually thinking about doing a whole video on like the history of Friday the 13th, why we believe, why they want us to believe that it's a nefarious, dark, scary, everything from number to day. Man, but if you do a little bit of research, it's not any of that. Of course, this is all for entertainment purposes. Oh yeah, before I get too deep into this, remind me to go back to the Friday the 13th thing. Everything I say is entertainment purposes only. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. I don't believe any of these things. Do your own research. Now, I said that in I say that a lot in all my videos. And then I will also mention that everything that I react to is protected under the Fair Use Act. Reason I say that is because good old Richie Dick here, I've never gotten a copyright anything because I try to make sure everything is on the up and up. If I play music, I usually get it from YouTube. I got that copyright strike. I think I talked about it. But then I got another one for my last reaction video for showing like a 1:04 clip of They Live, the movie They Live. Now, I got the copyright thing, but it said like no infraction, no action taken or whatever. And I think that's because I'm not monetized. But if I was, all the money that I would have generated from said video would go to the producer, writer, director, whoever owns the rights to the movie They Live. Man, still go watch that movie. They didn't have nothing to do with it. Now, if I wanted to, I could go in and dispute with YouTube that everything that I am doing is under the Fair Use Act because I'm not just showing the whole damn movie going, let's watch. You know what I mean? And then you don't see me and we just watch the movie. That's not what I'm doing. I am reacting. I am adding commentary. Literally, I'm not going to sweat it. I'm going to keep rolling with the punches, but I am using the fair use law in all of my entertainment for the AI that's listening. Because I know they use AI to grade these things and check them. Because it literally, when I upload it, it checks for that kind of stuff and it says, you're all good, go ahead. And then not a few minutes later, I got another copy. All right, Friday the 13th. It's not what you think it is. Definitely do a little research on that. Do a little AI, do a little Google. It's crazy. And if you're into the esoteric, the magical, any kind of stuff, there's things that you can do today to help you for the rest of the year. You can call them rituals, you can call them practices, whatever. Just put it in TikTok, you'll see. It's the strawberry moon, full moon. That's also a big deal because it's here on the Friday the 13th thing. Good things are coming. I'm not going to get real deep into it. It's a feminine energy thing. One of the reasons that they think that they preach, they get us to believe the Friday the 13th thing is unlucky or bad. It goes back to Jesus, his 12 disciples in total makes 13, but he was betrayed. Judas Iscariot, 30 pieces of silver. So the 13th person to join the Last Supper, which was Judas Iscariot, traded him off to Pharaoh and whatever. So yeah, there's that. And then, I mean, they don't even put 13th on elevator floors. All right, that's all I'm gonna, it's a deep hole, but I didn't want to, whatever. I've got some updates also in my personal life. I will also shave my head whenever I'm physically able to. And that update in my personal life is I'm using an old man cane. And I'll tell you at the end of the video, I'll get all into it because I got this crazy doctor procedure coming up. All right, scratch it. I'll do it live. I'll write my own script. Just kidding. I always do that. I may have to get up in a few minutes and turn the AC on. I mean, it's on, but it's not set right. And I'm starting to sweat because I got lights. I got all this electronics. Radio frequency coming in. I don't know what it is. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. These are all over the place. I got a lot of alien stuff, UAP stuff. I'm going to start with a Sean Ryan clip. Love Sean Ryan. Definitely check out the podcast. Speaking of which, I have been trying to complete the podcast that he just dropped. It's about the richest... How should I sum this up? Okay, it's about AI and all the crazy stuff that's coming. Magically delicious, but dangerously as well. This kid that's on there, I'm not sure how old he is now, but he was, Guinness Book of World Records, youngest B with a B billionaire. First one ever. I think he was a teenager when he did it. But yeah, he's started this crazy AI company. I say crazy because they do multiple things now, but what they started with is he is basically the procurer of all the information that AI uses. So I don't know how that works on a technical level, but he's the one, like every single AI model that we use, his company is like the treasure chest of information that they all use to come up with the answers for us. That's not powerful. Scary. But yeah, good podcast. It's like 3 hours and 22 minutes long, so I haven't gotten all the way through it. All right, quit playing around, Richie Rich. Get in there. Dick, take the day. And we will. And we will right now. As a matter of fact, let's just get in there. Sean Ryan. This is a different clip. This dude that he's interviewing with this awesome Tennessee waterfall haircut is a weather modification business owner. But they talk about a bunch of stuff. Let's just get into it. On your mark, get set. I'll go live. I'm just going live. I'm a little loopy today, y'all. I've got pain threshold going through the roof. Woohoo! Let's go.
Stuff is all spiritual.
I'm satisfied that I know enough. And
I'm sorry.
You had mentioned several times.
I said that wrong. Damn, man. Get up already. This is the Tucker Carlson one. I got that other one later. I got 2 clips from Sean Ryan. My baggage. Let's go.
Times that you think that the UFO, UAP phenomena stuff is all spiritual.
I'm satisfied that I know enough, and I don't really want to know that much more. Because what I think I know is, this doesn't help me at all to know that. So that's a conclusion I've reached. I'm usually pretty curious. I've stopped being curious about this because I don't want to know anymore.
You truly don't want to know anymore about it?
I think I know. I think I know what's up. So I can't prove it, so probably not going to articulate.
He's going to get into this, but I was talking about this, how a lot of people, including Tucker Carlson, I like the guy, super genuine. I don't like everything about him, but I think we could hang out, okay? Go fishing or whatever. A lot of people believe that this alien UAP, all this discovery, ethereal beings, they're just demons, Satan's demons, and they're using this whole manifestation. But he makes a very, very important observation. Like I said, I don't know if it's true. Entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Praise God and all that. Whoever you're into, get in there. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. Oh, my bad. It's over here.
Articulate it, but I think I know what's up. Yeah.
Can you articulate it?
Well, I think it's a really old story. I think it's a really old story, so.
What is it?
Well, one, I'm a Christian, and I'm fairly sincere about it. I try to be sincere about it.
What was it that led you to believe
Talking to a lot of people. I was really shocked by what credible people told me. I became completely satisfied, I'll say that they were not lying, and that they were right or in the vicinity of right. And then I was like, whoa, I'm out. Because I don't need to go farther than that. I mean, I think that the real struggles are unseen. That is absolutely a part of Christian theology. I didn't fully appreciate it at all. The belief that the real struggles are in the spiritual realm, that has been a constant belief since the beginning of history, recorded history. Everybody has thought that, except us in the West, since 1945. So once you get perspective on this question, you're like, okay, that may sound crazy to someone who thinks buying on Amazon is the meaning of life, but to every other person in the world, we may disagree about what the truth is, I'm sure we will, but we will never disagree with the fact that there's a lot of shit going on that we cannot see or measure with our senses. That is absolutely true. What I find so striking about the UFOs, this is the main takeaway I have, is like, there's this debate, is this stuff, these phenomena, which are clearly, obviously real, I mean, there's no debate about that. There's a lot of that people can't explain in the sky and underwater. We know that. Fact. Is this, so the debate is this government technology? Is it from outer space, or is it some spiritual realm here? I've already told you my view of it. But what I find so interesting, we know the government's lied about it. They're lying about it now. That's a fact. There's no way around that. They have absolutely lied about it in very elaborate ways. I am really struck, here's my current thinking on it. The main effort that the US government has put into its disinformation, its lying on this topic, has been not to mislead you on the technology. They're not telling me they don't have anti-gravity technology. It sounds from watching your podcast that they do. Their main interest is in convincing you that the supernatural is not real. And if you watch and
For real though, why? Yes, you can look at this from a religious standpoint, but if you know, the powers that be, as I like to call them, if they are at no point and never have, and always steer us away from the thought process that it's not the supernatural, well then it must be, right? On some level, like, maybe because full realization of this would allow us to also realize we have powers. I don't know. I got some videos coming up about us having superpowers too. All right, sorry, here we go. My bad.
there are people in the media who specialize in spreading these lies on behalf of the government. I'm not going to name anybody, but like some of them work. Once you realize what the point of the exercise is, it's crazy. And I hope you'll assess all the fact-checking and the skepticism on UAPs through this lens. The main thing they want you to believe is the supernatural is not real. Well, then you have to ask yourself, like, why?
That's interesting.
It is so interesting. Why is that important to you? Why do you care if I think the supernatural is real? Like, why is that? First of all, why is it? How dare you, as my government, try to get involved in my spiritual beliefs? That's totally not your area. So get out of there, okay? A. But B, why has that been so important for 80 years for you to convince me the supernatural is not real? Why?
Yeah.
Why is that? And of course I can't answer the question, but my gut level response is, well, because if it is real. Whatever they're telling you is not real, and if they're punishing you for saying something you know for a fact it's not real, you're not allowed to say that. Oh, not because they don't have no problem with me lying, because they lie for a living. So lying brings no sanction. You can lie all you want. What you can't do is tell the truth. That is a fact. So once you know that, you can sort of reverse engineer their lies and know with some certainty that whatever they're telling you is not true is in fact true. That's exactly the truth. It's exactly the truth. But then you have to ask motive. Like, it's not a profit motive. Like, does it make them rich to deny that there's supernatural forces? No. What is that? And I don't know the answer. But the obvious answer is, well, because they sort of know they're working for supernatural forces, actually. And I think that's probably true.
Is there a specific reason or a handful of reasons, or is this a hunch that you believe that they're working with the supernatural realm or have a relationship?
Well, I can't prove that. I mean, I'm suggesting that. I'm not saying it because I can't prove it, but I'm suggesting it. And if you're asking whether I believe it, the answer is yes. But I believe that for two reasons. One, because I've told that directly by a couple of people who I think seem knowledgeable, and I attach some weight to that.
That is from the Seventh Vial of somebody on TikTok. Thank you, Seventh File. Fair Use Act. Okay, apologize to everyone at the moment. I have got to go lower the AC temperature. My bad. I don't edit live later. I mean, not later. It's live later, and I'll be back. But you know what I mean. All right. Hey, Sonny. Yeah, that's real. It's real. I'll be back. Coming, hold on. I'm back. Attention span. I'm back. Hey, everybody, I'm back. I'm back, everybody. How's everybody doing? Okay, all right. Oh, yeah. Snapping to a Slim Jim. Was I allowed to say Slim Jim? I don't know. We'll find out. Just kidding. Okay, let me, you know what, let's just, next video. What do y'all think about that, though, man? Why do they always deviate from the supernatural, superpower, all that kind of stuff? I honestly don't remember what video is next. My bad. I just watched them all, too, before I started recording. But whatever. Okay. Here we go, everyone. Fair use.
What's that? Was a dragon dug up in Romania and the skull and bones are there? Yes it was. Did you see that video? Yeah, there's a guy in the hole with the dragon in there. And why have we not been able to believe in dragons before? Why is it mythological? Because if we're talking mythological, why aren't dinosaurs mythological? Riddle me that. We're gonna say dragons are mythological, but we're not gonna say pterodactyls are mythological. Okay. Because of course in China, they have dragon as being a mythological creature, but it's alongside other creatures that aren't mythological.
Yeah.
Why would that be? Is it maybe because it would be more terrifying to know that dragons were real than not? Even that over dinosaurs? I mean, probably. Okay, then. What's that? Was a dragon dug up in Romania?
I apologize if the volume... Whoa, it sounds way too loud now. That volume was kind of... I don't remember it being like that. Sorry if you couldn't hear it. He's talking about dragons and, you know... They tell us they're not real, but they're a part of all the artwork from ancient times, especially Asian artwork. Like, literally, dragon bones are some of their recipes for healing and power. And man, let me tell you what, ever since I was a little kid, dinosaurs have infatuated me, especially anything giant. I don't know what that is. I think it's crazy. I think it's cool. There's a theory out there that dinosaurs aren't even real. Like, they find a bone and they just build this imaginary creature around it, because I guess every dinosaur that's in the museums is not the whole thing. They fabricate the rest. I don't know if any of that's true, and man, I hope it's not, because I love dinosaurs. I love dragons. Are you kidding me? We're in the year of the dragon. Let's go. All right, next video. Thank you for that, whoever this gentleman was. And next.
Sit down for this one.
Oh, check this out.
Blink very fast. You will see a different mandala pattern every
there.
time you blink in that image.
Why is it called
This is
mandala?
the easiest way to understand your personal experience of the universe. That's an actual picture of a hydrogen atom. This is the probability of what that atom will look like when observed at different energy levels, aka how fast it's vibrating within this shape here is going to dictate what it looks like. Taking a frame-by-frame snapshot of where the electrons are when you snapshot, giving them that shape. That shape allows them to lock together into different molecules to build solids, reality, everything that you see around you. This does something very strange. Every time we observe it or measure it, it pops in and out of reality so fast it appears solid like the blades on a helicopter. This can be explained with string theory. When we affect one atom, its counterpart also gets affected no matter how far away it is. That string is attached to the source, or the origin, singularity, big bang, whatever you want to call it. This allows for communication with the source through vibration. Now, your particular body, the observer, is like the universe putting VR goggles on. This way it can observe itself through any point using the lens of your senses. You communicate your experience back to source, allowing the universe to experience itself through consciousness. It's like the internet linking all of the things. A very, very beautiful simulation.
Man, I don't know about that, but I thought that was pretty cool. A little bit over my head, but the whole, I don't know, that kind of makes me, the thing that pops up in my mind instantly is, you know, goes back to that saying, if there's no one in the woods to see the tree fall or hear it, does it make a noise? And those atoms and things only react when they're being viewed. I think that's so crazy, man. My brain has trouble putting that one together. I forgot what experiment it was, but I can't even attempt to explain. It's like they shot this, the word neutrino, this, whatever. They were viewing how atoms react, and they, surmised that it would definitely look like this on the other end, but it only did that if it was being viewed. I'll find it. I'll put it on one of my videos. Let's see if I can remember. All right, next video, everybody. Yeah, and if you can give me a dumbed down version, explain that to me, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh,
What we have here is a standard AC6H non-contact AC voltage detector. Now what this thing does...
First of all, I don't know. This is talking about 5G, and you're going to see him. You'll see. But I don't know if it's the 5G thing, or is this the energy that Nikola Tesla was talking about. It's kind of depressing to talk about, but there's this whole theory now that Nikola Tesla was maybe not even a real person, because the photographs we have of him are all kind of the same, and there's no photographs from his childhood. I could have swore, though, I've seen photographs of him all old and stuff. Whatever. Let's go. Sorry, my bad.
Let's tell you where electricity is. For example, this wire is dead. There's no electricity because I had the switch off. If I turn the switch on,
Beep, beep.
it now says there's electricity. Yeah, that works. For instance, these wires are hot going to it. Now, cool thing about this is it'll pick up any voltage. Anything between, let's see, this one is actually 50 volts to 1,000 volts. And category 4, 1,000 volts. So,
Cat 5.
here's the weird thing I'd like to show you.
Bro. What's up there? I also thought he might be about to be shocked by lightning. Okay. I don't...
I'm not doing anything to it, guys.
Damn, son. What? Careful, boy. Careful now.
Kind of weird.
You're about to get hit by Zeus. All right, next.
Darkest truth hidden from us. I don't understand why we have to pay to live on a planet we were born on. You didn't sign a contract when you took your first breath. You didn't agree to rent space on Earth. So why does every part of survival, food, water, land come with a price tag? And here's the real question.
Hate it.
Who are we even paying?
Yeah.
Who decided they owned the land, the water, the resources? Who stood up one day and said, this all belongs to me, and you owe me for existing? Water covers most of the planet, falls from the sky, and is essential for life. Yet somehow people are dying of thirst. Instead of wasting billions on war, we could build desalination plants and give fresh water to everyone.
Why don't
The
we?
technology exists, but do we use it? No, because if people could take care of themselves, they wouldn't be controlled. That's the truth. Scarcity is a lie. There's enough food, enough land, enough resources for everyone. But if people weren't desperate, governments, corporations, and banks would lose power. So they manufacture struggle. They make sure you're always working, always paying, always needing. You're not just paying to live, you're paying to stay in your cage. Darkest truth hidden from
Man,
us.
this is so true. It instantly makes me think, too, of when they, for like landscaping and whatnot, they like all the trees along the roadways and stuff, supposedly, according to recent theory that I've noticed, they're all male plants because they don't like female plants because they make a larger mess whenever their fruit drops, whether that's seeds or whatever. And then male plants just release pollen. That's why there's crazy amounts of allergies, and supposedly the drug companies that make the allergy medicine are in on it. It would not surprise me. I do not know. Entertainment purposes only. Okay, let's say every third tree that they planted was a fruit tree, or it just came standard. Even if you bought an apartment or were renting an apartment or whatever, everyone got their own little, 6x10 little thing that they could grow whatever they wanted, farm whatever they want. You know what I mean? And every home had at least 2 fruit trees. We'd be locked in. We'd be good to go. Or not all squared away, but circle the square. We'd be a whole lot better off. That's all I'm saying. Next one.
But yeah, this leads into another thing that I want to talk about, which is we've talked about it a couple times, but like underground cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This lady,
I love this.
Yes.
the Tucker Carlson interview.
Yes. I haven't
This
seen.
is
I don't know what
nuts.
this is.
This is nuts. Okay. Former Bush administration official Catherine Fitz. She was just on Tucker Carlson's podcast.
Cool.
And she did this really deep dive. She said it took 2 years to find all these connections with somebody else. I forget who it was. But basically, they uncovered of what they know of are all these major underground cities that the U.S. has been building since 1988.
Pardon?
Dude.
What?
With a
Excuse
total
me?
of what they found, paper trail, they've spent over $21 trillion on underground systems and cities, funded through 2 decades of unaccounted federal spending, money that vanished from the ledgers of the Department of Defense and the Department of Housing and Urban Development
Well, that-
between 1988 and 2015.
What's happening? All this money is disappearing. They
Yeah.
can't account for
and
it.
she says, for sure, with what they know, is that there are 170 underground cities under the entirety of the U.S. and in the ocean. And that
Non-speculative.
non-speculative. This is for a fact.
This girl worked with George Bush Sr.
Supposedly.
Yeah. And they said that they are all connected via high-speed transit systems, and that they use an energy source or energy technologies that the public has never been allowed to see. But yeah, this leads into another thing.
Hey, shout out to Ninjas Are Butterflies. It's one of my... it's Friday, and they always release a new video on Friday. I've watched maybe a half hour of it this morning as I was prepping and stuff. Too many interesting podcasts out there. How can you have time for everything? It's just impossible. But yeah, shout out Ninjas Are Butterfly. Love them. They're, wholesome Christian folk, if you will. But they in there on some of the theory stuff. Good to go. And it's quite entertaining. They sing songs, and it's good. Check it out. Check it out. Next one.
Number 1, solar catastrophe. In century...
All right, this is a little dark, y'all. I mean, it's Nostradamus, and I think they talk about the other... I can't remember if this is the clip or not. Bhagavad Gita or whatever. There's, people who've predicted things are going to kick off in the year 2025. We'll see. They're not always right. And who knows? Okay, entertainment. Fair use. Here we go.
This extreme experiment went wrong.
Oh, Schniggle
Watch
Fritz.
to
I went
the end
wrong
to
one.
find
My
out
big and
how.
bad. Here we go.
Number 1, solar catastrophe. In Century 4, Quatrain 30, Nostradamus describes something that at first seems poetic and abstract, a fiery beach. But when we bring this vision into the present day, his words begin to echo with eerie relevance. With the ongoing advancement of space science and our increasing dependence on fragile digital infrastructure, the possibility of a massive solar...
I just thought about something. I apologize for stopping this, but this has music on it, and I might get another copyright thing, okay? So we're going to skip it. All right? My bad. It talks about Nostradamus predicting solar flarishness. There's a comet.
Stress could be wiped out entirely by rising ocean temperatures.
This extreme experiment went wrong. Watch to the end to find out how. In 1943, there's a story about a ship called the U.
Out of all the stories that, because I've seen multiple versions of this, the Philadelphia experiment. Man, if you want to get down a crazy rabbit hole just for fun, do some research. Literally, soldiers stuck into the ship like Han Solo in Star Wars. That's what I think of every time when they talk about it. Here, sorry. Here we go.
USS Eldridge. People say it was part of an experiment in time travel at the Philadelphia Naval Yard. First test, with no one on board, worked fine. But the second test, with people, went really wrong. The ship vanished in a flash of blue light and left behind a weird green haze. Later, it was spotted near Norfolk, Virginia, by another ship, but then it disappeared again. It showed up back in Philadelphia, but the scene on board was crazy. Some sailors went crazy. Some seemed to disappear and reappear, and some were stuck to the ship's hull. After that, they stopped the experiments. 40 years later, a guy named Al Bielek said he was one of the crew on that ship.
We don't know if it's
He
true.
claimed they ended up time traveling to the year 2037 and beyond. Do you think he time traveled? Like and comment your thoughts below. This extreme experiment went wrong.
This was a real brief synopsis of, the tragic chain of events that happened to these guys. But I'm not going to say everything happened because I don't know. I wasn't there. But there is proof that they attempted to do a thing. And according to the notes on the thing, due to the Freedom of Information Act, they could have possibly time traveled, like by accident. Here we go. There's another really good time travel video I have on here about the whole Trump time traveling thing. I think it's the guy's last name was Lockwood who wrote this book. Dude, and what's Trump's son's name? I know if somebody's watching this, they're screaming it at the screen. Damn, anyway, here we go. Oh, hey, if you like any of this stuff, my crazy attention deficit way that I put these videos out, anything at all, please, I always forget to say it. I'm trying to get better. Like, subscribe. Please join the Dictate Today crew. We in here getting it done. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever it is. Share the video. I don't think anybody's ever shared one of my videos because I can see those on the analytics. Share something sometimes. Sharing's caring. All right, here we go.
Let me tell you something, though.
Here's the Sean Ryan clip that I was talking about. This is all chopped up, fair use, but this is the Tennessee waterfall kid. That's another cool name for a mullet. Who has the weather modification business. Supposedly he does it in a safe and healthy way or something. I don't know. Here we go.
Here we go. You know about how birth control's in all water now?
And there's an infertility problem.
Yes. One, Alex Jones was right about the atrazine and what it does to frogs. There's a lot of crazy stuff that is actually happening. So I
didn't know that.
I love the idea of getting microplastics out of the water and having, you know about how birth control's in all water now?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
what?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's poisoning us that we should be really concerned about right now. So
there's birth control in the water.
Yeah. So right now, lots of women use hormonal birth control.
What he's going to say is that they can't, all our water is recycled, kind of gross if you think about it. I remember as a kid, we took several trips to the water treatment plant. It was like a field trip learning experience. And I just thought it was so gross. You got to see this murky brown sewage water come in, and then they made it our drinking, bathing, everything water. But supposedly they can't get the hormones out of said water. Man, if that's really true, we are so jacked up. Because even if you're not drinking it, because I don't drink it, we bathe in it, we wash our face and our hands, and your skin is your largest organ, so we're definitely getting something. Okay, here we go.
right? And then we recycle a lot of that water. We don't actively filter out for the hormones that are in it. And so when that gets recycled, it gets put back in the water supply, and then dudes end up drinking it too. So one, Alex Jones was right about the atrazine and what it does to frogs. Two, there's a bunch of other stuff that's probably androgenizing us that's not good. So, like, are there a lot of toxins in our environment? Yeah, totally. I would prefer that we focus, like, making America healthy again on getting rid of those things that we do know exist, rather than, like, speculating about the World Economic Forum, like, spraying mind control viruses over us or something.
Could be true, though.
There's a lot of crazy stuff that is actually happening. So, like, let's talk about that, you know? Like, all of our kids' minds are being melted by TikTok, and there's birth control in the water, and there's plastic in everything that we touch, and China is stealing all of our IP and all of our actual critical industries. True. And actually, my company can manipulate the weather, so, like, those things are all real. That's more interesting to me than making stuff up.
What was the birth control thing again?
Yeah, so women are, women take hormonal birth control. They then, urinate. That goes into the water system. A lot of cities recycle their water, but we don't have any specific filtration mechanism for those hormones. So they just get recycled and pumped back into the municipal water supply.
So is this like a significant amount of birth control in the water?
It's enough.
Yes.
And there's an infertility problem.
Yes.
How does it affect males? Do you know?
It makes you more asexual. Yeah, so it makes you less of a guy and more of a sort of, I don't know, like the way that most guys are now.
The way that most guys are now. Yeah. I've heard there's so many conspiracies about the chemtrails, and I've heard that they're spraying estrogen in the air to...
Well, let me tell you something, though.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Here it comes, y'all. This is out of all the clips that I have for you today, this moment, this thing that he's about to tell you, prepare yourself. I like it so much. Okay, check it out. I'm a big fan of testosterone. Check it.
So, the material that we use, it freezes the liquid in cloud into snowflakes that fall, right? Pure testosterone, it's not as effective, but it's almost as effective as silver iodide. So if we really want to make America healthy again,
we'll all be showered in testosterone.
I can make that happen.
Please, bro.
Oh man, that's. Have you ever heard of Solbear?
Mm-mm.
I interviewed them about 2-3 years ago, and they basically had come up with this formula where they would chemtrail it with a plane and spray this solution over trees. And basically what the solution supposedly does is it's almost like a tanning lotion that you put on the trees. And it keeps it allows them to it allows plants to do photosynthesis a lot longer than normal because I think it has to be like 72 degrees or something for that to occur, and so this enables it to do more, which would clean the air and all this other stuff. I didn't know if you had heard of them,
No, I haven't. But
basically, it helps trees grow a lot faster.
Yeah, I don't know whether that is healthy or not, or what it's made of, but like if it is helping green stuff.
It works. They gave me a bunch of samples. I sprayed it all over a bunch of trees, and they blew up.
No way.
Yeah, to 100%, it works.
That's fascinating because long term, Rainmaker has to do more than just like making it rain more, right? Like we have to automate tree planting, we have to figure out how to make the trees grow faster, or we have to make sure that the soil retains more water. So that tech sounds super, super interesting.
So that's an interesting point, because when you were talking about, greening the Sahara, I mean, where would the soil come from?
So rather than the Sahara, right, let's like take Arizona as an example. Kingston, Arizona, a lot of that soil is the same mineral content as the Central Valley. It's just not productive because there's not enough water, right? So there's a ton of areas in the world where it's like ready to farm if only for water supply. So like you can start with those and you don't need to change the soil too much. Now, in the case of a lot more arid regions, how do you get the amount of nutrients and water to stay in the soil for actual plants to grow? Because if you plant a seed in sand, like probably no dice, right? There's these things called hydrogels or biochar or just like manure that you can till into the soil to, one, put nutrients there, and two, allow the soil to retain more water. So if you just have an automated tractor or combine or something that grates the soil, mixes in, this water retaining material, then that instantly becomes much, much, much more arable.
Interesting. Let's talk about how this all works.
Okay.
How does it work? No matter where you're watching Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly...
So good. This makes me think he was talking about, spraying testosterone and stuff. There's an old episode of like Joe Rogan. I think he said it on a couple episodes, but I just remember this particular episode. I think he was sitting with Eddie Bravo and somebody else, one of my favorite human beings, Mr. Eddie Bravo. Look into it. And he was talking about how, there's all this conflict around the world, and instead of flying over and dropping a bunch of horrible things and burning up the earth and the enemy or whatever, why don't they just fog them with huge amounts, copious amounts of like cannabis? You know what I mean? Calm everyone down. Maybe throw in a little cybacilli mushroom in there. Get everybody on the, we are one kind of tip. I don't know. I think that's cool. And then spraying some testosterone so we're all feeling a little bit better. This is not medical advice, but there are women I know that take testosterone, and it's not because they want to get super jacked. It's because both male and female humans have testosterone and estrogen, and you can be off in both of those things. I have a whole like a hour-long video, I think, close to an hour-long video about my TRT journey. It's in there. If you go under my channel, check it out. It's all black and white. I made it, because people have this weird allure. Whatever. Yeah, check out some of my old videos. That'd be cool. Might help the whole thing. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get back into it, y'all. We're back on track. Next. All right. This dude right here reminds me of myself because what he's about to say. And I know I'm showing a little bit longer clips today. This video is going to be super long. Thank you if you have joined and stayed with me the whole way. Y'all some real ones. Some real day takers. I appreciate it. Knowledge will save your life. Whether in these dangerous days or even the calm ones. What he's about to say and talk about for the next 4.5 minutes, I feel like this a lot of times. Some of the theories that I'm bringing to you on this awesome Friday the 13th, yes, just entertainment. Yes, can be considered far-fetched. Yes, could be considered fictional. Definitely entertainment purposes only. But some of this stuff is legit, and it gets lost in the fray. But either way, it's just information. We watch Marvel movies and all kinds of stuff, and we're completely entertained with it, and it usually has some kind of positive message in there. But you start talking to some people about what would be considered conspiracy theories, and they automatically either stop listening, turn the switch off, or they form some idea about you. And hard to get them to change their mind. All right, let's let them cook, as the kids say. Cook it up, son.
Peace, everybody. Look, I gotta tell y'all something. We're living in times of where information is crucial. Being the most as knowledgeable as you can is what's gonna save you. And knowledge is not just in one subject, it's just being knowledgeable, being wise. having wisdom in general. I'm telling you, like, being ignorant and shunning away from knowledge and information just because it's scary or because it's against your personal reality, I'm telling you, it's gonna get ugly for you.
Yeah. Okay. I just now realized there's music on this one too. If it matters, this is Last Hope slowed and reverbed by Steve Ralph. If it needs an attribution, there it is. All right, here we go.
There's nothing wrong being optimistic and being joyful, but
fair
there's
use.
another
I'm just
thing
reacting.
when you're sitting there and you're ignoring dark secrets about the world or about certain things or aspects of life because you just haven't heard it before, or because, I don't know, just whoever you go to for your little bit of information that you usually only like listen to and limit yourself to listening to for information, didn't say it. I hate to break it to you, but that's how you get left behind out here.
True.
That's exactly how you get left behind. So, those people who do deliver information are called conspiracy theorists.
Damn it, I know you're right.
And I have a poem about conspiracy theories. It's 2025. So much has happened. And also being revealed. Time to do some research.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there because I feel like this is gonna create a copyright issue for me. I found this video. Looks like on TikTok about a day ago. I don't know if this is the original poster or not. It doesn't look like it. But this is from Isaiah the God 07. Just throwing that out there. We're gonna go to the next video, but I'll surmise what he's saying. It's what I just said before. It might behoove you to, if someone's sharing some knowledge with you, regardless of what it is, how far-fetched it may seem, how outside the circle of normality, give it a chance, man. It doesn't define the person that's telling you, and it could be information that saves your life. All right, next.
Because when I woke up, I saw Pope dies.
This is the one, y'all. This video. Sorry, this video right here is that Trump time traveling. They're gonna put a bunch of situations together. Watch. On.
At 88, and then Bitcoin hit 88 like 30 minutes later.
The 88. Okay, so 88, he dies at 88. Now, that's the number of wealth. Going back to Trump, I found something else with Trump. There's a character based off of him. Now, what movie has 88 in it, which has a character based off of it? Back to the Future.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
So in Back to the Future, Part 2, what happens is that Biff, he gets the almanac, right? And the almanac, if you guys don't know the movie, the almanac is basically where it shows all the sports findings or all the sports plays and then who wins for the next 50 years.
One of the greatest movies of all time. Continue.
Right. So what happens in the movie that he gets the almanac, he goes back into the past, gives it to himself to win and get rich and have casinos and be all rich and powerful.
Not a bad idea.
That's based off of Trump. When he goes back to the future, everything is like a tangent. It's like Biff's future now. Biff's future is where he's all rich and powerful. Now, what speed do you have to go back and forth through time in the movie? 88.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold the phone.
So now, think about this. So now, Trump, which Biff's characters is based off of, he has Biff Tower, like Trump Tower. He has gambling. He has a casino like how Trump does. He's a rich, powerful businessman. He has all these different, he even looks like him. He has the same little wiffle.
It's Trump. Isn't it crazy that Trump has, there's that whole Trump's the last president, Baron Trump is this time traveler. I honestly didn't piece this together, that you have Baron Trump, who is, there's a book by, who was that?
Ingersoll Lockwood.
Ingersoll Lockwood, who wrote that book about a time traveler named Baron Trump.
Baron Trump's Marvelous Adventure.
There it is.
And it's about a boy who can time travel. He has a mentor named Don.
Come on.
This is written in 1893.
1893.
So you're telling me a boy named Barron Trump has a mentor named Don. This is over 100 years ago.
How many coincidences do y'all need?
Russell Lockwood writes another book called The Last President, about a president who is anti-system, who is very charismatic, and he disrupts the system as when he takes power, he takes the POTUS seat. He lives on Fifth Avenue.
Wait.
All this is in the book. Literally. So the fact that it parallels, and like this guy was like an outsider becomes president and becomes the last president because it is a shift, a whole disruption when he becomes president. 2 books that predict exactly who's in power right now. Barron Trump, Donald Trump.
And then you have Back to the Future that's
Back to
about
the Future.
Another time traveler.
Another time traveler.
It's like he's going throughout time and making stories about himself.
That's a cool podcast too. The Maverick. Approach. The one of the things, and they may mention this in the full podcast, that whole theory, that was the first time I saw the Back to the Future put that together. But that is crazy. 88. I think it was Mr. Trump's grandfather, maybe his great-grandfather. He was the one, and I forgot what position of power he held in the government, but he was the one that basically got a hold of some of Tesla's research, which could have been some of that time traveling research. I don't know, but look into it. Dick into it, y'all. I keep on saying look into it, but I mean to say dick into it because that's on brand for your mans. Whose mans is this? All right, here we go. Next one. Hopefully there's no music, and damn, I keep on forgetting to look out for that. It's so quiet, I don't realize. But the music on that was, Maverick Approach. Maybe they put it out. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Fair use.
5 signs you're part of the hybrid program.
This is crazy.
Sign 1. You've never broken a bone. Not once. Not even as a kid. Sign 2. You've survived at least one freak accident that should have injured you. Sign 3. Your body heals faster than doctors expect.
Man, it used
like Wolverine, but real. Sign 4. You've always felt like you were being watched.
All the time.
Especially when you're alone. Sign 5. You get static shocks. A lot.
Too much.
Electronics glitch around you, and your phone randomly dies at full battery.
Story of my
Bonus sign? You've had dreams about places you've never been, but you wake up with real bruises.
Used to.
They're not testing your strength. They're tracking your evolution. 5 signs.
Strange. Anybody have any of that happen to it? Put it down in the comments, because I can identify with all of those. All right, next.
If you've ever wanted to see a 4th dimensional object, now's your chance. This is called bubble cymatics, and this video is not AI.
Supposedly.
Try to prove me wrong. But this is so cool. They shoot a light into a bubble.
It is dope. Bubble cymatics. Very cool. That would just be cool artwork to have, especially if it was big and like a fountain in your living room or something.
If you've ever wanted to see a 4th...
If you were born between the years 1963 and 1993, I need you to look at your left forearm. And if you can't check your forearm right now, save this video for later. I know it's a little bit light, but do you either have a freckle or a mole on your forearm? When I first heard about this, I was like, no way. But yep, there it is. Now, for some people, it might be on your right forearm. And for some of you, it'll be both. And if you want to go down this actual rabbit hole of why we all have the same mark, fair warning, that rabbit hole is deep.
Man.
I was going to pass it off as coincidence, but start looking at the comments right about now. Because 99% of you will have that mark on your arm. There's all sorts of theories about genetic testing, some sort of a secret vaccine. But if you were born between the years 1963 and 1993, when it's convenient some point today, make sure you save this video for later. Check your left forearm. And when you see it, Share it with a couple of your friends too, because if they're in this age bracket, I really would like to know what's going on. If you were born...
My wife and I, we are 10 years apart in age, although I am the older one. She is way more mature than I'll ever be. I say that because it is true. If you look into this, it leads you down several different paths of, theory. Even the gate program stuff. I'll put some videos up of this. I'm sure. I thought I had some in here, but man, the gate program, gifted and talented. I forgot what the education. I don't know. Ethereal beings. Yeah, there's some things. Y'all remember the weird hearing test and the pink liquid you had to drink? I remember that. My wife does not, but I remember getting all those tests. I remember them sitting us in a room with everyone that had been picked. I think this was like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, sometime in there. I remember us having to go to a special room that was like close to the lunchroom. And we had to take a Scantron test. It was one of the weirdest tests I'd ever taken. But I found out from the 2 ladies, there was like 2 ladies that I'd never seen before, and then one of the teachers, I think she was the counselor or something, but she did have a class. I didn't have it, but I found out by one of the people running the gate program Scantron test that it was going to mean we were going to have to do extra work. So I intentionally bombed that test, and maybe it's a good thing I did. But I took the Scantron, and I literally made a happy face out of all the circles, and I turned that in. But before I did all that, I made it look like I was copying off of everybody around me, and they were looking real suspicious at me from the top of the room. And then, I don't know, the lady kind of gave me a dirty look when I turned it in, and she looked at it and saw that I'd made a happy face on it, and she threw it in the pile. Yes, very strange. Okay, I'm going to stop there. We're probably at an hour. I don't even know. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to now get into some what's going on in Dick's life, because I got some things coming up that may affect production. So, yes, you saw me walking with the cane, repping the cane. It's called the Hurricane. Check it out. It's my back again, and it's crazy jacked up. I'm having some nerve issues. I have a doctor's appointment coming up next week, and I know I've done some research. We were referred to this person by a friend of my wife's, and it's supposed to be amazing. I have a feeling it's going to be expensive. I don't know, so I don't know if I'm actually going to get the thing done. But it has something to do with stem cells. And I'll tell you the procedure, because I was doing research last night. They will go in with some type of, I'm going to use laparoscopic camera and tool thing, and they remove some of my hip bone and make stem cells out of it. And then I guess they inject it into the said infected area, which would be my spine, because it's a sciatic nerve thing being pinched, and it used to be on one side, now it's on both, although my right side is the one that's the most dominantly damaged. So I don't know what that means as far as like what kind of time I'm gonna have. I don't know if there's gonna be rehab involved. I don't even know if I'm going to do it. But yeah, it's anytime you hear stem cells, man, it's dollar signs, and I'm worried about that. So put some good energy out there for me. All's going to work out. All will be fine. But yeah, so that might mean I can't get to this stuff like I like to. And once again, I'm sorry that this is the production level, but this is where I'm at. I'm going to get better. These will get better. I keep saying it, and it's a slow progression, but things are happening. Yes. To the day takers, to the OGs of the tabernacle, the tabernacle that is Dictate the Day. I love everybody. Thank you so much. seriously, thank you. Even if you watch it and you don't subscribe, you don't like, whatever, thanks for checking me out, checking out my stuff. And you know, on a TMI level, because I'm always that guy, I like this reaction thing. I do, but I don't know. It's cool, and I'll continue to do some form of this. I'm thinking about sticking to like more tighter subject matters instead of just skipping around like this. We'll see, but I also want to keep producing stuff for the channel. Like I said, I definitely want to do some of the fitness and health stuff. Maybe even record my journey through this hospital thing that I'm going to do. Doctor, it's considered a surgery, whatever. And also, I really want to do some of the fight stuff. There's big fight stuff coming this weekend. And if you know me, you know my channel, you know I'm a big fan of MMA and fighting and training and all that. It's one of the reasons I'm having to deal with this issue with my back, either from injuries and all kinds of stuff. But this whole copyright thing is becoming an issue. Like, the UFC is super strict, so I'm attempting to find out, like, can I show shorts? I know I have to dull the volume. It can't have announcing, you know, from the actual live venue. So yeah, we'll see. Just know I'm working on it. I'm doing what I can to get in there for y'all. But I'm gonna go ahead and sign off because I got to get this thing uploaded. And now that I'm doing this from the actual computer itself instead of my phone, it's a little more technical for me. And I cannot seem to figure out a cool way how to do a thumbnail. And I know it's in editing softwares and stuff. I'm going to see if I can get old ChatGPT to help me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this. I'm going to let YouTube pick the weirdest thumbnail. I don't know how they make these decisions. And then I'll hopefully go back and then put in a thumbnail that I and AI, or maybe I'll just use this video clip thing. That's what I did for the last one. I just was able to clip a frame myself and put it up. But yeah. All right, everybody. Dick gonna dip. I will see y'all on the flip. Remember, everyone, Friday the 13th. I hope this Friday's amazing. I'm excited about it. I'm really trying to stay positive over this injury thing because it can get real dark. But I'm not going to let myself. I'm focusing on everything that is good around it. And it too will become some form of awesome gift. Okay? All right. Yeah. All right, remember everyone, I say it every time, and it's because I believe it's super important. Take your day. Dick, take your day. Join me. Get in there. If the darkness is surrounding you and you're having trouble on even processing the idea of commanding success over your day, taking your day, spread your love, share your knowledge, and it will benefit you. I promise. On that note, I love you guys. I will see you on the next one. It'll be better. It'll consistently get better. Man, I hope and I promise. All right, I love you guys. Dick's out. See you on the flip side. Bam.